I'm here at the NHS Blood Donation Centre, which is in Westfield Shopping Centre in West London. And the reason why we're here is because the NHS needs you as a part of their Giving Type campaign. They need 140,000 donors to be able to help save lives, but more specifically, 12,000 donors from Black heritage, because the blood does need to be an exact match. And if they find that exact match, lives can be saved. So at some point, we will be making history on the show this afternoon. This has never been done before. I will be giving blood on Least Women. I'll be sat on one of these chairs somewhere in this room. I'll be sat on one of these chairs as the nurses connect me up to the needles and what have you in order to be able to give blood. And I'm here to be able to show you guys just how easy it is and just how painless it can be and just how important it is. I am a registered donor and I have been for quite a while, and I am overdue to be giving blood. So it's worked out quite well for me. So later on in the programme, I will be giving blood, and hopefully it encourages you guys to do it as well. Jane.
Blood donation saves lives, but it's something that many of us take totally for granted. And I have to say, I'm probably one of them, because we've been talking about this a lot this morning. And like many years ago, I remember thinking, right, this is something I'm going to do. And I think I was probably pregnant, and they said, we don't want you because you're pregnant. And then I thought, I'll go back. And then I never have. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just that it doesn't really cross my mind, which is pretty shameful. And now I'm going to vow to go and do it.
I think you always take for... I don't know what it is, but you always kind of take for granted that if anything happens, there will be blood at the hospital. Yeah. You always do. I never think, oh, what if I get there and there's no blood? I did go and offer to donate, but I've got anemia, so they wouldn't let me. But it only, came home to me how serious it is when one of my nieces, after giving birth, had a hemorrhage terribly and had to have a blood transfusion. And again, it was like, oh, thank God for that, But not thinking, where did that come from? Did they just have a big freezer of blood?
It's so worrying that
running out.
That there is a shortage, and especially in your community. I mean, it's like my mum's life was saved many times with blood transfusion. And actually, today, my stepson Lewis, is at King's Hospital about to go in for surgery for his Crohn's. So talking about this today, you think, obviously, I'm sure, he's in such amazing hands, thank you, Kings, but that everything will be OK. But it is worrying to think that there is a potential shortage.
I mean, that's the thing, we only sort of think about it maybe when
I
there's
don't even know what my blood type is. This morning I thought, if somebody said to me in an emergency, what's your blood type? How terrible, I don't even know. Maybe it should be in our passport or something. Do you know what yours is?
I don't understand, though. Yeah, but I don't understand, like, when you have a baby and they do that little blood prick on the heel about whatever, why don't they then just put it somewhere so you know all your life what your blood type is? I mean, I know I've got a rare one.
When I gave birth to Jamal, they did that, and we found out that he had sickle cell C trait, and so I always kept it somewhere so that I could know,
Does that mean he was potentially prone to?
No, if you have the trait, then that means you've got the donation that has come from both your mother and father. If he marries somebody who has a baby with somebody who also has sickle cell T trait, that goes into full.
And Tanisha's given blood, hasn't she?
Tanisha gave blood for the first time a couple of weeks ago. A good friend of hers, Shona Marie, whose poster's actually up there behind Charlene, she threw a birthday donation day to encourage her friends and family to give, and it turned out that Tanisha's got B positive blood type.
What, so instead of a gift?
Yeah, instead of a gift, you give blood.
Wow,
instead.
That's a great idea.
So she found out that she's got RO subtype, which is a rare 1 for 3% of donors have RO subtype. So, yeah, she was really excited. She gave blood in 4 minutes. It came shooting out her arm.
What a great idea, though, to encourage everybody to go. Yeah. I'm definitely going to go.
I failed the first time. That's why I've never been back. They just said it just wasn't kind of, got no idea why. But because of that, I've never been back. But now I am going to go and just see if
I think there's a lot of misconceptions around as well, that people think, oh, I can't or whatever. But let's go to Charlene again. Hi, Charlene. How are you feeling? You feeling a bit nervous?
Hey. Do you know what? No, because I've done it before and it's so easy and so straightforward. For me, there are no nerves involved in the process at all because, you know, they'll put something in my arm and I'll have a chat to the donor carer when they come along and, you know, it's quite nice, to be honest.
It's a blood donor special today, as you know, and we have a couple of ladies in our audience who have benefited, either they have or their family in some way from a blood donation. So, Karen, tell us a little bit about your story.
So mine was many years ago, 1986, twin pregnancy, developed preeclampsia, severe hemorrhaging, had to have a lot of blood. That saved my life and then obviously benefited my twin daughter, my twin here today.
Before that happened, would you say that, a bit like me, you were somebody that just took it for granted that there would be blood there for you?
100%, because I was young, I was 22. I didn't even know about blood transfusions until I'd actually received one. And because of that, I then became a blood donor myself. Many years after was when Natalie was about 10, and then I finally realised the impact of how many people had had to donate 10 pints, 11, 12 pints of blood that I received that day. So I wanted to give something back.
Fantastic. And Kerry, tell us, you're here to talk about your mum, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Back in 2006, my mum was suffering with a really bad nosebleed. Went to A&E twice, it wouldn't stop, so she was eventually admitted into hospital. It bled for a whole week and it just would not stop. So this is Mum, yeah. So eventually it was cauterised, which stopped the bleeding, and because of all the blood that she'd lost during that week, she had to have blood transfusions, which saved her, and she's still here today.
Yeah, it is, again, what we've been talking about, isn't it? It's so important. Somebody's just told me in my ear that we've actually managed to crash the blood donor website. So that shows the importance of doing programmes like this. It raises awareness. If you're having trouble getting onto the website, please do keep persevering. They're going to sort it out, and it should be fine in a relatively short time. Now then, it's the moment we've been waiting for. Now, I must warn you, viewers at home, you might see blood. Our Charlene is just across the road giving blood. How are you feeling?
Oh. Do you know what? I'm fine, Jane. It's not my first rodeo. I have done this before, and I'm with my lovely donor carer, Josh, who is currently taking my blood. It's about a pint of blood that I'll be giving in the time that you and I are chatting. But look, the NHS is after every single blood type because the reality is this pint of blood could help save the lives of 3 people. That's how important this blood is. They are very much in need, though, of blood from those who are of African and Caribbean heritage because they're 10 times more likely to have RO blood, which is beneficial for those who have sickle cell. 2 of my friends have that blood disorder, sickle cell, and I know just how dangerous it is when they don't get an exact blood match. My friend Lanria, as a result of not being able to have an exact blood match when she had complications with sickle cell, it means that her health issues have become even more so as a result of having a mismatch. So look, the thing is, look, in 5-10 minutes, Josh and I get to hang out for like max 10 minutes, and I'll be able to, you know, be responsible for helping to save someone's life. It's important.
That it takes like 5 or 10 minutes, but overall, how long are you there? From start to finish, say?
OK, so I had to sort of have run through some questions, like health questions and stuff, which really doesn't take that long. But the whole process is 5-10 minutes that Josh and I will get to hang out. But actually, it will take longer for me to recover with my chocolate biscuit afterwards.
Oh!
I've got to sit down for 15 minutes in order... I know, 15 minutes. Look, I've got my chocolate biscuit here, and I've got one to match my outfit, because I may be giving blood, but it's always about fashion. So, yeah, I mean, it won't take long. It won't take long at all.
Can I ask you, how do you qualify to give blood? What do you have to do to sort of apply if nobody's done it before?
Well, it's about health, so you've got to be in reasonably good health. It's also about age, so you've got to be between 17 and 65. It's also about weight as well, so between 7 and 25 stone. So those who can't donate blood include people who've had certain types of cancer, if you've got HIV, if you've got Hep B, for example, you're not allowed to donate. But that's a conversation, if you're a bit confused, that's a conversation you can have here, or, you know, talk it through with your GP or something.
Charlene, you say it's not anything for anybody to be afraid of, but I know a lot of people that are scared of needles, just the sight of a needle. Does it hurt?
No, not really. It's a bit like, I don't know, if my son pinches me on my arm or something, it doesn't hurt at all. And Josh did give me the option of turning away when you put the needle in, but I'm not afraid of needles, and it does fascinate me, so it's quite interesting to watch it go in. And look, there are lots of misconceptions about it, but the law did change. For example, when it comes to men who have sex with men donating, that law changed back in 2021, so those rules don't apply anymore. But things that do apply, irrespective of your sexual orientation or your gender, is your sexual health. And STIs, for example, they'll ask you about things like that, and about whether you've been on holiday, because holiday destinations can impact whether or not you can give blood. But again, those are the questions that they'll ask you when you arrive at the centre. It's really easy.
And also...
Look, I'm literally lying on a chair, chatting to you lot, giving blood. It's great. All that's missing is like a pina colada.
Very quickly, how much are you giving today? And do you have any idea how many people it will help?
Yeah, so I'll give a pint. Josh is taking a pint for me right now. They checked my iron levels earlier, so it's all fine. And actually, three people's lives will be saved by me spending 10 minutes in Josh's company.
Well, that is amazing, Charlene. Well done.